Hello. Many things that I planned to say in my little speech have already been said, but I think that a lot of them need to be and deserve to be reiterated. So I'd just like to say hello, everyone. And I just got married. Who would have thought that would ever happen? Yeah, and the most amazing thing about it is I just got married to Lucy, the love of my life. So, yeah. I'm still a little bit spinning about that. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the whys and wherefores and hows and how-fors, it's a real word, I've looked it up, of how Lucy and I met and ultimately got engaged. Stick around, there's some juicy bits coming up. But first and most importantly of all, I'd like to just say that the one person, as Dad said, that we really would have liked to have been here, can't be here, and that's my mum. And she's sorely missed, and she would have really enjoyed today, and she loved Lucy, and she loved us together. So I'd just like to quickly jump in and have a quick toast to Jeannie. Jeannie. I'll better do some bottles, eh? Right, okay, so it's traditional that I looked it up online, and it's traditional that I'm supposed to do certain things in a certain order, but Lucy and I have never really followed tradition in the traditional way. But I do want to thank certain people that have made this wonderful day possible. So here goes. I'm lucky enough to have moved into a wonderful, loving and giving family. The Englishes. And I'm very proud to have done that. But I'm also lucky enough to be part of the Wadleys. With all the wonderful benefits that entails. My lovely sister, Lindsay. And our two beautiful children, Monica and Mason. Yeah, that's you. And our wonderful fellow Steve. I just want to say thank you for all the support and love and guidance and love that you've bestowed upon me over the years. I love you. And you know, Monica and Mason are the best den building companions and fellow explorers of nature that I could ever hope to have as an uncle. Thank you. And over there we've got Maymoon, as Dad said. Yeah. She's 93, you know. Well, he goes, have you got what, your marigolds? As Dad said, she's 93, and until recently, she used to go to Australia every year, or every other year, to visit my uncle, her son, Jimmy, who can't be here with us today, unfortunately. But I was lucky enough to go over a couple of times with May, and her joie de vivre, her joy of life, is a joy to behold and an inspiration to me, May. I love you.
I love you, May, as well.
And she survived so long by having a cornerstone of sherry, bread and dripping and fat. I think that's something for all of us to take home tonight.
Don't tell everybody.
Oh no, I am going to get the occasional clip round the ear that I put. Now I'd like to thank a man that I love, respect and admire and aspire to be like. He couldn't make it. No, my dad. I've always, of course, loved him as a father.
Without him, we wouldn't be able to go on.
That's it. He is a rock to which we all cling to. I've always loved him as a father, but over the last few years since my mum passed, I've got to know him as a man. And I'm very proud to be your son, and I'm very proud to be your mate. And I love you. And now, again, back to my new family. Thank you, Steve, for those wonderful words. I'm glad you lost it, but I think I'm going to lose it many, many times tonight. I think we got there in the end, didn't we? What Steve alluded to but didn't get to was that we didn't necessarily hit it off for the first match. I don't think he thought I was quite suitable for Lucy. Completely right, of course, he's an excellent judge of character. As so many of you are here today. But through perseverance, we got there. Yeah. And I'd like to thank Lily, his lovely wife, Lucy's mum. You've been a fantastic mother, and you've been, well, you know, we've been a fantastic family, and we've all sort of had our little differences, but we've got through it, and I think we're there. I think we're definitely there. Mason, jump to. We've got you a little something to celebrate the mother of the bride, but also as the inspiration of Steve and Lil's, what is it, 34 years together. So they're okay, and now I want to thank the bridesmaids. I know that this is traditional. I have to thank the bridesmaids for doing such a wonderful job and looking so incredibly stunning. Do you agree? Any single gentleman in the room, form an orderly queue and wait to be inspected by our English. It's a grueling process. Thank you, Gemma, for doing such a wonderful job. Now, usually I would make some kind of quip. But not today, Gemma. I love you. You're my sister. Even though it pains me not to say it. And today I've also gained another sister, Charlotte, also known as Pooh. And I've known Pooh since she was a tiny little bundle of snot and energy.
Can you explain why?
And luckily she's transformed into someone slightly taller. Thank you. Love you. And thank you also to the gorgeous flower girls, Monica and Truly.
Thank you.
And Summer and Scarlett. Who are around. They did a wonderful job as well. And also to my nephew Mason for being such a wonderful ring bearer and now present giver. You've done a good job, mate. Big up, blood. I'm down with the kids. That's a given. I'd also like to thank Alison, who did all the flowers. Look at how she's dressed this amazing and done all this. And everybody else that was here since like 5 o'clock this morning, and they've done a great job. And Lucy spent the last 9 months and so all of you have, or you know, don't give me a hard time if you but please do us a favour and take one of these home with you.
Is he sick of looking
Because we don't need them. And I'd like to thank Lucy's dear friend Ginny. Where are you, Ginny? Ginny?
Love you,
She did a wonderful reading. Mason, you've got some cards over here. You have to make yourself. Can you put? Well, actually, first, can you just pass the card to Ginny? There's a card in there for Ginny. Ginny, I watch your friendship with Lucy with pride and awe. You are fantastic together, Thank you so much. And also big love to Mel's newly made Dave. Where are you, Dave? Davey! Dave also did a wonderful reading at the wedding.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. You are my surreal brother. And you always bring positive energy and love. Thank you, mate.
Keep it surreal.
Yeah. And also thank you to superb sitar playing from Paul Jackson. Only before I'm not the same as that I was proper zenned out. I was sitting there. I was levitating at one point. And to my good friends, Claire, Moo and Truly, for the cake. Did you do the nut special one? Claire nearly killed me a few years ago, but I'm alright. By accident. By accident. Love you guys, thank you so much.
Have some cake.
And now from the beautiful bridesmaids and special angel fairy flower girl people, and just the more unsavoury end of the spectrum, the best men and ushers. Don't. Now guys, you look very handsome. Ladies, I'm afraid they're taken, but I'd like to put your names on the waiting list. I'll be circulating this later. No? And I want to thank Matt for doing the photography and everybody else doing the photography. Please take photos. Or on your camera phones or on your cameras, take up lots of photos and then forward them to us afterwards. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And thank you to Al. Thank you, Al, bestest usher in the world. Al and I used to play in a band together, and not only is he a fantastic musician, but he's a fantastic friend.
Musician, he's a drummer. Right.
There's a present in there for you. It's the one that isn't wrapped in silver. Yeah. It is a guitar. It's some drumsticks, but they got drunk in the wash. Al, much booze. Much booze. And love.
Much booze.
Thank you, Al. So when it came for me to choose my best men, there was no one else I'd rather have. But unfortunately, Paul Stanley from Kiss and Steve Snyder told me to stop calling. And I think there's a call injunction out there. So I had to ask Ferns and Matt, Jamie and Matt, or Ferns and Popsy as they're more commonly known. And some people think it might have been greedy for me to have two best men. And you know what they say, two's company, three's a orgy. No, three, many hands make light work. That's what I meant to say. Ferns and Popsy have been incredibly supportive and genuinely fantastic since I asked them to be my best man many moons ago. And I just want to say thank you so much to you guys. I love you. And there's something special in the box for you, for each of you.
Just help myself.
Yeah. That is, so that one, Ferns, the one you got in your hand, that is for Matt.
Yeah, it's for Matt, yeah.
Yeah. And that one's you got in your right hand is for you, and that one's for you.
You got smaller.
Thank you very much. Well, that's what I've heard.
Thank you so much.
So I just want to say that just want to say how utterly happy and amazed I am that this day looks more lovely. You've really outdone yourself. You look amazing. I love you. So now to the juicy part that I was telling you about. Lucy and I met at Bedford College, which is where I now teach, strangely enough. She was on the bricklaying course and I was on the dance course. We were both on the performing arts course. She was a dancer and I was an actor. And we met there and we didn't like each other. She bounded in with her big mushroom, make way for the mushroom style haircut. Full of attitude. And I had quite long hair then, and she thought I was a bit of a geek, and I thought she was a bit of an attitude head. And the first year of the course, nothing, we barely spoke to each other. But then over the summer, between the first and second years, we really got to know each other and started hanging out together, and going down to Barford Weir and messing about. And we both had feelings for each other, but neither of us would say anything. Until one fateful night. When Lucy made me watch Riverdance. Isn't it amazing what you'll watch when you fancy someone? It's great So then we got together. Hey! And then we split up. Then we got back together. Yay! And then we split up. And I'm fudging over some more rather painful times when we weren't together for quite a long time. But then, 5 years ago or so, we bumped into each other. And we got back together. And we realised that we'd never really not fallen out of love with each other. And really just always wanted to be with this person. And so we got back together. So 1 or 2 years into the relationship, we went over to Australia for May Moo's 90th birthday. Hey. And I thought, I'm going to ask her to marry me whilst in Australia. That's the way to do it. So I thought, right, Sydney Harbour Bridge, kind of been done, but when we got to Sydney, it was tipping down with rain, so that was off the cards anyway. So I cleverly thought, I know what I'll do, I'll play it really uber cool. I'll put her off the scent. She knows I'm going to ask her. So I thought I'll be, distant, aloof. And then when I do pop the question, she'll be like, oh. It kind of backfired on me. We got to Brisbane and went for a Chinese meal. And Lucy sat me down and said, listen, I don't think this relationship's going anywhere. I don't see no proposal on the table. I think when we get back to Bedford, I think we should just knock it on the head. So I'm like, I couldn't say, I'm about to look at marry me. So I look like a no. So I just sort of smoothed it over. But luckily, when we got to my uncle's house in Magnetic Island, the stars aligned. One night we were out with the family, and there was too many people to come home in their car. So we walked home. We decided to walk home. And Magnetic Island, tiny little island, but loads of little bays, loads of little coves and beautiful beaches. So we were walking past one of these beaches and we stopped. And we were looking at the stars. And the next thing I know, a butt-naked Lucy's running into the sea. So I looked at her and I went, that's my girl. So I joined her. I joined her and we were swimming around and it was all cool and everything, and I was thinking, do you know what, this doesn't get any more romantic than this. Should I do it, should I? And then a shooting star went over. So I had to, didn't I? So I spun over, got down on one knee, and I said, Lucy, under these magnetic stars, will you marry me? And she said, no! No, what? Ask me again. Lucy, under these magnetic stars, will you marry me? No, I won't. What are you talking about? Ask me again. 3 times! Ladies and gentlemen, 3 times. Jamie, who's going to do the... Can we have a 5-minute break because we've got to set up a little projector and things like that.
Comfort break.
Thank you very much.